never don't let we can falter in the battle. We're tried and true. Indiana, 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 we're all for you.
Welcome to the Indiana Basketball Show with Steve Risley. I'm your co-host, Mike Goodpaster, here with the legend himself, Steve Risley. Steve, 3-0. Big blowout win over Milwaukee last night. And Milwaukee is a good team. I think they'll win the Horizon. I think they'll make the tournament. I thought this was a solid win. I thought Marquette maybe didn't look as good as what Milwaukee did last night.
No, I agree. I think the things that I thought that this was the best team we'd played so far in terms of physicality or organization and the ability to push the ball up and down the court. A little bit better than Marquette gave us. Milwaukee played hard as long as they could. And actually, the things I was looking for in this Indiana right now is not a win, which is something unusual that we've talked about at the beginning. Let's just get them a damn win. But consistency, and we're seeing that across the board. We'll go through all those numbers when we break down, and I got some tidbits showing how consistent this club is. But I love the consistency in this ball club right now. I think that's a real strength. I think they're running the court really well, and they're just doing everything fundamentally sound basketball, which is what you want to try and develop in a team right now, is get your fundamentals down to where these things just become automatic. Mike, you're a football coach, and I know you spend the early part drilling fundamentals, make sure blocking assignments are right, make sure they get it to where it becomes automatic to them. Indiana's getting there. The two things that concerned me a little bit are these, and we'll break these down too, and I'll get your input on these definitely. One was I felt that early in the game when it was kind of touch and go in the first 10 minutes, I thought that Milwaukee was doing a great job of controlling the tempo of the game. And they were able to stay with Indiana because I thought they controlled the pace and tempo of the game. And that's something Indiana's got to be really sharp because when Indiana wrestled control of the tempo of the game, we blew them out. We blew them to the next universe. And so that's something that I hope Coach DeVries takes back to his guys is, look, they came out and we ran at their pace. They didn't run at our pace. Something to be talking about and to find a way to break it down. Defensive transition to offense is really good. Also, offensive transition back to defense and make sure we're slowing them down where we want them slowed down. Secondly, I just think still defensively, and something else against, I'll get your opinion on here. Defensively, I think we're playing a little too man tight. At Indiana, when we talked about Indiana always played man-to-man, what Indiana really did was play a man zone. We had an assignment for a man, and but when that man got out of his zone, we switched, and we were always either on man side of the center court, half court line, going from bucket to bucket, or we were on ball side, depending on if the ball was above or below the free throw line. And one of these days we'll go through that. I know you know that type of defense. But you got to be in a position to not play defense with your back to the ball. And I think Indiana's playing a lot of defense right now for what I'd say a good reason. They're trying like hell to deny passing lanes. And you want a team that can play a team tight defensively when you get into critical situations. That's the best way to screw up an offense is to get on your man like glue and stick to it. Know what kind of flavored bubble gum he's chewing, as we got out of Hoosiers. So those are things I picked up. I got details. I got stuff to back it up. I'm sure you do too. We'll go over the stat sheet, but consistency is there. I love what I'm seeing. I'll let you talk about the shooting percentages off the score sheet. We did finally win a rebounding battle, things that you can cover. And defensively, I'd like to see us just get more into the help lanes, get off your man a little bit. And they were getting too many easy bursts to the bucket on their penetration on us, simply because we didn't see the ball. We just didn't know where the ball was at all times because we knew where our men were. Your opinion, Mike?
My opinion is this. They shot 60% in the first half, 53 in the second.
Mm-hmm.
They were 9 of 14 from three in the first half, 5 of 14 in the second. They shot 50% from three. 56.7% overall. The free throw shooting wasn't as good last night. They missed 8.
I'll take 75%.
I think what you are watching, even defensively, is kind of the way Coach DeVries wants to play. I think that sometimes the best defense is a good offense. I think the way this team shoots the ball right now, they put a lot of pressure on the other team's offense. And
that's by being in the passing lane and denying that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And this Robert says, I love the fact that on defense, we fight over the top of screens, where usually in the past, they tried to go under screens for some reason.
Well, I'll tell you what, the best team just switches off on screens and just, that's the art of it, is learning just to switch off. And it doesn't matter who you're guarding. I may have started off on Worthy in the championship game in '81, but I guarded Perkins or Matt Doherty or any number of players. Just whoever came into your man zone, you guarded.
Yeah. And the other thing that I took away from it is Tucker DeVries is a really good player. And the reason I say that is last night, he only scored 12 points. He still affected the game. But the big thing about DeVries, and the same thing with Wilkerson, it seems like if one of them's going off, the other one just kind of steps back, lets him do it. And last night, Lamar Wilkerson, 5 for 6 from 3-point range, 7 for 12 overall, 24 points. You had DeVries in 32 minutes, 4 of 10 field goals, 2 of 5 from 3-point range. He scored 12 points.
Most of it was coming late in the second half when Indiana was blowing him out. Really.
But the other thing is this.
Leadership.
When you look at the stats sheet, he also had 3 steals. He had 5 rebounds. He had a couple assists.
Leadership.
I mean, he affects the game more, even when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. And that is what a great player does. My other takeaway is this. Tatum Connerway is the real deal as a point guard. I mean, he scored 21 points. In each game, it looks like he's gotten more into the flow of offense. And, you talked about the first 10 minutes where basically they controlled tempo. I don't remember a game in the last decade where the other team came out controlling tempo and Indiana changed things up and took control back. So the thing I liked is they started off Milwaukee with the first 10 minutes. I was worried about the game.
Yeah.
And then the next 5 to 10 minutes, you see the swing and momentum.
Boom. Yeah.
You see the defense step up a little bit. I think what you had the first 10 minutes is I think that they looked lackadaisical compared to other games. How about that? I don't think it was lackadaisical compared to what we've seen in the past. I just think sometimes you come out, it takes you a little while to get going, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I don't think lackadaisical is the right word. I didn't think they were not prepared to play. I just think that Milwaukee came out and basically jacked everything they had to jack in the first 10 minutes, and they just got control of the tempo.
I love it when you talk dirty to me.
I know. I didn't have it. I had different ways to put that. I just didn't know how else to put it. I apologize. I was in my brain when I was saying it, I'm thinking, think of something else, and it just didn't come out. So I apologize to any 12-year-old that's listening right now. You ass better be in school instead of listening to us right now. But I loved how they wrestled it back. And it was a good test for us early because we got up by 10 or 15 and then they clawed back. They clawed back to 5 or 6 points and got back into it. And then we got things back under control. And once we gained total control of the tempo of the game, it was ours. And you talked about all the great shot percentages we're shooting. Why do you think that is? Well,
because of ball movement.
Well, ball movement and let me just answer for you. There's a million answers. Shot selection.
You didn't let me get to it because you said and then you kept talking.
I apologize. Okay. See,
I thought I was the one that interrupted you all the time.
I know.
Did you change the tempo of this show?
I changed the tempo of the show. Now, I assume you're going to get back and change it back.
Yeah.
And get control of the show.
John says the hardest part of Coach DeVries' job is the fan base thinks they can coach as good as Bob Knight. Isn't that every fan base, though?
Well, I don't know if it's thinks. I think it's we hope he is. We're Bob Knight's always going to be.
No, it's not that. What he's saying is the hardest part is that the fan base thinks they can coach as good as Bob Knight.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, I mean, so does Kentucky's. And it's part of having a legend as your coach at one point, if you know what I mean. That's why it takes a while to replace a legend.
It's taking advantage of the culture that's been established, and DeVries is using that culture and maybe starting to put the fear of God into people. I saw somebody put out a power ranking of Big Ten teams right now. I had Indiana listed at number 1. Now, it means nothing this time of year.
Yeah, and
but
I think
it means that Indiana's being recognized.
Number 1 right now.
We'll see if they get ranked here pretty soon.
Well, let's
they
see
should
what
be
Purdue
ranked.
does against Alabama. I mean, Michigan actually won a tough game against Wake Forest the other night. The Big Ten should be good. Illinois beat Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Texas Tech's got a good team. So I think it is reaching right now to say they're number 1. But I also think it's reaching to say anybody's number 1 right now because polls are for losers.
It doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, power rankings are for losers. But I want to tell everybody this. Our first Big Ten basketball power ranking of the year will be out on Monday. So all you losers, read it.
There you go. I think some things that also I took away was you're not going to press this basketball team. I mean, I know that Milwaukee threw some nominal pressing up late in the second half, but you've got 3 guys, Connerway, DeVries, and Wilkerson that can handle the rock easily. You're not going to press. And I saw Bailey run the length of the floor on a nice ball move up right up the middle and start a fast breaking run. So you got one of our big guys at least, and we'll see what the run.
I think they started the game off with Enright and Connerway both in the game.
Yeah,
which gives you another.
And I thought that
played well too.
I thought my prodigy Sisley. I went before R, P-R-S-T.
That should have been your name, Steve
Prisley. Yeah, I probably should. There's times when I was probably called that in practice.
I think you were called worse, but okay.
Sisley, I think, came in and hit 2 big 3-pointers for the team when Milwaukee was making a little bit of run. Role player. I like the fact that we had 8 players get significant minutes in this game. That's good bench depth right there as far as I'm concerned. We had 8 players play over 10 minutes in the game, which to me is good. 4 guys again in double figures. 11 offensive rebounds. We're crashing the boards. That's good. We actually, Mike, and I think you alluded to this, we actually out-rebounded Milwaukee. That's the first time we've out-rebounded anybody.
And at one point, they were down like 10 in the first
half.
Yeah,
we talked about that when we were talking about that at halftime. Once again, another 23 assist night. That just means they're sharing the basketball.
Steve, through 3 games, Indiana's assist rate is 70.9% of its field goals.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, that boy, Indiana, DeVries should be most proud of that with a team where he's trying to reestablish a culture and taking 12 new guys and bringing them together to play together from 12 different multiple different programs.
You know what that tells me? He knows what he wants in a player.
And he's getting it out of him.
Got it. Which I don't think previous regimes knew what they wanted. And
they did not know what they wanted.
They were looking for one-on-one guys.
Yeah.
Lamar Wilkerson. How about this? This is a stat that blows me away that I just found. Wilkerson, through 3 games, is 15 for 26 from 3-point range, almost 60%.
Yeah. No, it's good shots. I can't think of a bad shot this team's taken yet. I mean, I know they have, but I don't see a rush shot. Most shots are coming off of 1 or 2. That's why we're getting so many assists. They're coming off passes, not off of dribble shoots.
Yeah, and another thing that I really liked was I liked the way Tatum Connerway basically attacked the rim on Wednesday.
Wilkerson did too.
Yeah, but Connerway's your point guard, and in the past, we usually just throw it inside. And
Bailey attacks the rim very well. I saw Sisley
Sam Alexis. I mean, Sisley.
Yeah, Sisley went after it. I mean, these guys. And Mike, let me ask you this: when is the last time we sat here and talked about the fact that Indiana only had 8 turnovers for the game? We're usually talking about 8 turnovers for the half.
I thought it was 7.
I got 8 here on this stat sheet.
7 on mine, but we'll call it.
Oh, no. Turnovers 7, steals 8. Yeah, I'm sorry. I highlighted the wrong highlights. What can I say?
All right.
I got the wrong one.
The other thing, another stat that I just found was Tatum Connerway.
Yeah.
I mean, what I like about him is he continuously downhill, attacks the rim, but he shot 7 for 7 on 2s in that game. He is now 13 of 15 from inside the 3-point arc this season. So we have not had a point guard anywhere near this in a long time. And really, Connor's not bad either.
No. And just for the fun of it, just to because we really don't have a lot more to talk about here. But here's some tidbits that we pull out. Offensively, it's the first time opening the season with 90 or more points for 3 straight games since 2007. First time IU has hit at least 10 3-point field goals in 3 straight games since 2016. Let's see, IU
First back-to-back 100-point game since 2016.
IU connected on 56% of field goals in this victory. First time IU has shot at least 50% from the floor in 3 straight games since 2024. It's the first time Indiana provided 20 or more assists in 3 state games since 2012. The Hoosiers scored at least 100 points in wins over Marquette. Milwaukee in 98 against Alabama A&M, three times over 98 points. So you can see continuity-wise offensively, this team's clicking right now. And what I'm not too concerned about, and it will get tougher. I mean, let's face it, when we start playing the Kansas States, the Louisvilles, the Kentuckys, it's going to get a heck of a lot tougher. But I like the fact that Indiana's playing within themselves offensively.
Yeah, Brian Wetters, which Wilkerson do you mean? Because we had Sharon and Bobby, right?
Yeah, we had Bobby Wilk. Bobby Wilk's one of the most unheralded basketball players ever to play at IU. He was in the shadows of Benny and Scotty and those guys, and he was in Quinn, and then there was Bobby, and Bobby Wilk ran that offense and controlled it, and he was 6'7" player long before the other point guards. 6-7 point guards.
Because you remember he got hurt in the first half of the 76 championship game, and everybody thought it was going to be a Scott May repeat from the year before.
Well, and Wayne Radford came in and played miraculously. He's the only freshman really to get any minutes in the championship game against Michigan, 86-66.
And JDB Brown says Indiana finally has a leader and a real coach in charge. Very refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he's got one that's clicking with the players. And the players are responding to the coach. I noticed, I think you could tell DeVries was getting a little frustrated a little bit, but not agitated. I mean, he wasn't changing his coaching style. At the beginning, first 10 minutes of the game, I think he saw what we saw. He may be almost as smart as us. I'm not sure. But I think he was seeing a lot of what we saw, just that we weren't controlling tempo offensively and we weren't transitioning well. So I would stay on focus with the fundamentals right now. It's a great time. You got a couple of games here coming up with Incarnate, and who's the next game after Incarnate? It's another guy, I don't know what. I don't want to get in trouble with anybody. So.
I love when you bring up stuff and you didn't look.
Well, look it up, Mike. Your computer's much faster than mine.
Not really, because earlier I asked you who they played, and you told me it's Lindenwood.
Lindenwood. Okay, those are 2 opportunities most likely for Indiana to really focus on its own mechanism of action, get its fundamentals, keep drilling fundamentals in before you get into some meat where you got to play Kansas State, then Minnesota, a Big Ten game, our first Big Ten game, and then get into Louisville, and then somewhere after that, a few more Big Ten games possibly. You go to Kentucky and play, or we play Kentucky. So great opportunity to focus on the fundamentals, do what they're doing. Keep working on yourselves right now is what I'd tell Indiana to do.
Hey, you forgot completely about Lindenwood. They only lost by 40 to Texas Tech. They could be.
Oh, is that it? 40?
Yeah, only 40.
Golly. Texas Tech, great place. Great place.
Well, yeah, that's where the general coached.
Yeah, we played there in the first game of the 79 NIT. We went down there, and that's where I thought Mike Woodson had died.
Why did you think he died?
Well, we were sharing a room together, and he and I were roommates, and I, along with some of the other players, snuck out. It's okay to say it now.
Coach and I died. If he hadn't died and he was still alive, you still wouldn't say it.
I wouldn't say it if he was still alive because it would haunt me. But anyway, a bunch of us snuck out and went find out there was nothing to do in Lubbock, Texas after 10 o'clock.
Well, you did smack Texas Tech by 20, if I remember.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, I come back to the room and I trying to be quiet because Mike's in bed asleep. And I look over at Mike and I just turn the light on for a second to get everything going. Mike's eyes are open and he's not moving. I'm thinking, oh, my God. I rubbed his shoulder and pushed him over and said, Mike. And he just said, yeah, I sleep with my eyes open.
That's creepy. He coaches with his eyes shut, though. That's
no,
really
he
weird.
doesn't. No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't use his eyes at all.
We don't need to bash Mike Woodson anymore.
We're not. I didn't.
He's back to being a favorite player. Okay.
No, he's not.
To me, the coaching excursion didn't happen.
All right, give me this. Who did you beat in the second round of the NIT? Let's see how good your memory is.
Second round. Alcorn State.
Yes, very close game too.
Yeah, well, they were good. They had a really good player on their team, Larry somebody.
Yeah, they made the tournament a few times in the
late 70s, and they had Gene Bartow was their coach, I think.
No, that was UAB you're thinking of in 82 or 81. Yeah, 81. Okay, that was UAB. You guys played them.
They had somebody that was a fairly good coach for them at the time.
Hold on. I'll look it up because I know you're right. And I know they had a player, too, that was extremely good.
Yeah, they did. Knight was.
How about this? They actually went undefeated in 1979. They went 27-0 and won the SWAC.
And we're the first team to beat them?
Yes, because they were the first historical HBCU team to win a first-round game in the NIT. Now, despite their regular season that was perfect, they were not ineligible for the NCAA tournament because it was the final year of transition to Division I.
Wow.
I'm trying to look who their best player was.
There was some guy. I thought his name was Larry something or Larry Farmer or
it wasn't Larry Farmer.
No, I know. He was a coach, UCLA coach. I know. They had one real good player that I had to guard for a good part of the game.
Oh, that's why the game was close. Let's see.
No, they were that good. they were good.
Let's see. Hold on here.
And we still were without Mike. And, Mike was still injured. Whitman was a freshman, I think. Had already broken his foot or Kitchen was having back troubles. We were a mess. But that's the year. Well.
Okay, their head coach's name was okay. Their head coach's name was Larry Mr. Mean Smith. Larry Mr. Mean Smith was the best player. That's your Larry.
Larry Smith. Yeah, Larry Smith. Okay.
Yeah, but it was Larry
something.
Smith. He was actually.
That was almost.
No, I just said you had half of it. He was one of two Braves selected in the 1980 NBA draft. He was drafted in the second round by Golden State. His teammate Clinton Wyatt was chosen by Washington in the 9th round the following year.
Yeah. No, they were a good program. Who was their coach?
Daryl L. Whitney. No, Mr. Mean was the player.
Oh, okay.
Daryl Whitney was the coach.
All right. No, Bartow was at UAB, which was a really good program. We played them at some point too. Maybe not in 79.
Yeah, you played UAB in 1981 in the Sweet 16. You beat them 87-72. It was probably the toughest game you guys had.
It was the toughest game we had going into the Final Four.
Yeah, they had 2 or 3 NBA guys. And then the next year in 82, they upset Indiana by like 14 points and made it to the Elite 8. And I think they lost to Louisville in the Elite 8.
Yeah.
JDB Brown says Indiana is currently at number 17 in Ken Palm. Brian Wetter says Bobby always criticized play in November and December. I thought Bobby criticized play all the time. Robert Stewart says Louisville game and the big football championship game on the same day at Indy. Hopefully they're not at the same time.
No, they'll change game times.
I'm sure it is anyways. It's probably Indiana Louisville like 1 or 2 o'clock and Indiana versus Ohio State. Just a guess on the Big Ten championship game.
Well, that game's in Indianapolis anyway, isn't it?
The Big Ten championship game? They're both in Indianapolis.
Oh, the IU Louisville games in Indy too?
I'm pretty sure Indiana and Louisville play at Gainbridge this year.
Maybe true.
And the thing is, Louisville may be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country too. They pretty good smackdown on Kentucky.
Yeah. But let me see what else I had that I gleaned up here as far as little nitpicky stats. Let's see. No, nothing good defensively. They weren't bad. They're not bad defensively. I just think they need to focus, like I said, on some basic fundamental things, making sure you're getting more in passing lanes, defensive transition.
Oh, hold on. The Big Ten championship game's now in the afternoon, and the basketball is at night. I thought the last few years the Big Ten championship game was always in the evening.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
But
And let's put Indiana to the championship game first, okay? I'm not putting the cart for the horse.
All they got to do is win against Wisconsin on Saturday.
And Purdue.
No, all they got to do. I think they clinch if they beat Wisconsin.
Oh, they clinch if they beat.
Yeah, the only two undefeated teams were Indiana and Ohio State. And Indiana and Ohio State. I mean, the only way Ohio State wouldn't get in would be to lose their last two. And if they lost to Michigan again, that would be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it'd be great. Wouldn't it be great if the Big Ten championship game, Ohio State loses to Michigan and we lose to Purdue?
No, it would be funny if Ohio. You got to get this right here, Steve. It would be hilarious if Ohio State loses to Michigan. There wouldn't be a funny damn thing about Indiana losing to Purdue.
I'm being facetious, Mike.
I don't care who you're being. It's not right.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else we need to cover? I mean, you know, we're holding teams under 50% shooting across the board, 46% field goals, 29% 3 points, and only 38% free throws. So that's looking like an Indiana stat sheet right there from last year. Those numbers, especially the 39% free throw, brings home a lot of pain. But no, I'm falling in love with Coach DeVries. I think he was another great hire by Scotty Dawson.
Here's something interesting. If Michigan was to beat Ohio State, Michigan could end up in the Big Ten championship game.
Really?
Yes. It's what it says here in key scenarios.
Well, in that case, I'm rooting for Michigan big time.
I would anyways. I hate Ohio State. I hate everything about Ohio State.
I hate Michigan less than I hate Ohio State.
Yeah, I like Michigan just because I hate Ohio State.
Well, I like Michigan because they got a great basketball coach themselves and Dusty.
All right, hold on. Brian says, Steve, psychologically, what effect did Bobby's criticism have on the team? Seemed like your team, I thought said got jailed around February, but jailed around February.
Jailed too.
Kept that out the cops were afraid of Bobby Knight.
No, we had Bob Hamill. Got it covered. What was the question again? Repeat it.
I don't know. Shit. It's about psychologically.
What
did Bob Knight's criticisms have on the team?
I think I've told this story before. It's really funny. The 4-year process of playing for Bob Knight in Indiana. Your freshman year, and I'll do this real quickly. You're just in awe of everything. You know, you've never played before 18,000 people. All of your games are on TV at some format. Now, we didn't have the Big Ten then, but we had Channel 4 with Chuck Marlowe and whatever. But every game was televised. 18,000 people. You're a celebrity when you walk on campus. So freshman, you're just in awe. You know, you have no idea what you're about to get into. None. And you're coming off of a situation where 99% of these kids coming out of high school have been patted on the ass for the last 4 years of their lives, and they're about to learn what it's like to get kicked in the ass. So your freshman year, you're just in awe. Your sophomore year, you're scared to death because you know what's coming, but you don't know when it's coming, and you don't know why it's coming. You just know that you can look at him walking out of the coach's locker room, if he's in a bad mood or not. You can tell right away what kind of practice it's going to be. We used to go into the training office and get taped, those that got taped, and the first thing we'd ask is, do we need Vaseline? Because we do need to grease up. Yeah, I know. Roll your eyes. No, do we need to put it on our hips and our knees?
Sounds creepy every time you
elbows.
Say it.
So your sophomore year, you're just absolutely afraid of everything. You're going to get yelled at. You don't know quite what you're doing wrong. You haven't figured out the system. As simple as the system sounds on paper, it was a very complicated offense and defense to run because it predicated on you never standing still, offensively and defensively. Now, your junior year, you're like this. What the hell? I've seen this shit somewhere before. What the hell? This is the same shit he pulled on us last year after a game like this. God damn it. This is all just excuse my French. This is all just, what the hell? What's he doing? Messing with our minds? And then your senior year, you're back there just laughing at the juniors, sophomores, and freshmen going, these idiots are falling for all this crap. And that's when you start yelling back at night or talking back to him. Just a little. Not that much. Not a big fish was a big fish, but a little fish, minnow-wise, you may say something back to him. And he starts to respect that when you start talking back to him a little bit. As long as you don't get stupid, he respected the fact when players would stand up to him.
Well, because they survived 3 years, so you got to respect that.
yeah. Well, it's that, and he says his attitude when we talked a lot afterwards when we would sit around at golf tournaments and we would tell stories about all this, and it would always come up that that he could tell when he was very respectful when he earned your respect and you earned his respect. Because if you showed respect and he wanted you to talk back, he wanted you to begin to state your opinion. He knew that's what the real world was going to be like. You couldn't be bossed around all your entire life, or you're never going to amount to a hill of beans. So he prepared you to know why you were going to talk back, be prepared to back what you were going to talk back about or challenge. And he always felt good when a senior player or like an Isaiah Thomas, who was 2 years ahead of himself, would be willing to debate Coach Knight right on the spot. But virtually no freshman, sophomore, or junior on the team, other than like an Isaiah, ever had the kahunas to do that.
All right. We'll finish the show with Kenny Johnson's comment. We don't know what the season will bring, but I hope the fans embrace what the coach is doing and just enjoy the game. And remember, it's going to take a little time.
Yeah, and it's all fun when we're winning. I mean, he's doing the right thing now because we're putting great numbers on the board. We're winning every game by a large margin. We aren't playing anybody very tough yet, so that takes anything. But I'm not looking at who we're playing. I'm looking at how we're playing against our own potential. As long as we keep playing up to our potential with good shot selection, good defensive movement, blocking out, transition to the other end of the court, controlling tempo of the game, listening to your coach, keeping balanced, 8 guys balanced on the court, getting as many minutes as many against a long season coming up. And I don't know what his practices are like because I haven't been to one of Coach's practices yet. But, you don't want to beat the crap out of kids right now. So get as many kids in the game as you can. Try and keep people from getting hurt. And, yeah, I agree with the comment. It's a long season. It's up, but how long has it been since we've had a long season in front of us and we got off to a start like this? I mean, it's been Tom Crean.
2016?
Yeah.
About that time.
But, yeah.
Wasn't that the Sweet 16 season the last time we went to
Crean's probably Tom Crean's the last time we ever got off to a season where we all felt this confident. We were always defending Archie. We were defending Mike. Like, hey, they're just trying to build their own culture in this program. We were making excuses for them. We have not had to make one excuse for Darren DeVries. Not one. Not as players, not the way his team's playing, not the way they're representing Indiana, not the way Coach is representing himself, not the effort his coaching staff is putting into it. There's not one excuse we've had to make. And as long as we keep that up, Indiana is going to be a blue blood program again and be in the discussion at all times.
All right, Steve, we're going to go ahead. Make sure you guys follow us on X at Grueling Truth. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube. Share this everywhere you can. Tell your friends, wake your neighbors. Steve's number one.
No, I have a question. I'd like to pose this to our audience. Guys, get back to Mike on comments if you would. How would you guys feel if Mike and I did a show not dedicated to IU, but then also did a show dedicated to the Big Ten itself?
A separate Big Ten weekly show.
Big Ten show where we don't just talk IU, we talk about the Big Ten as a whole.
You too, Greg.
And so we would talk about the Big Ten as a whole, keep it to just Big Ten, and really get a good look at our conference and what's going on there. I told Mike I'd cover the West Coast.
And I would say this, Harpoon Bakery, the best chance is to beat Kentucky. I think Louisville's a better team than Kentucky. And I think Louisville, your issue is going to be Ryan Conwell, who is very similar to Wilkerson, only Wilkerson's bigger. But I think the Hoosiers can play and beat either one of them. So What we got here?
Big
Ten, thumbs up. Harpoon Bankery thinks we should do it. Greg Gorecki says he thinks we should do it.
Yeah.
JDB Brown thinks we should do it. You want to start it tomorrow, Steve? Purdue plays Alabama.
I don't even know how many teams are in the Big Ten right now.
I think it's 18. It's
it
obvious
18?
in the name, the Big Ten. Jeez.
Let's set a target here of at least by the start of Big Ten season.
Well, how about this? We will start it the week of Thanksgiving on that Monday.
Okay, that sounds good. We will open up a Big Ten show starting the week of Thanksgiving.
All right.
We'll get a look at the preseason schedules of all the teams that played, what we've seen.
I can tell you this. You got just on the stream here, you've got 6 that won it. You have 12 that won it on Twitter, and you have 9 that won it on Rumble. Nobody said no. So there you go.
There's a bunch of idiots out there.
Well,
I wouldn't want to listen to me anymore.
Steve says my year is writing on the UK game, Southern Indiana thing. I'm from Southeastern Indiana. I feel you, Steve. I hate the Kentucky Wildcats. Wait a second. Brian says, remember there are 18 teams together. Well, me and Steve are just going to cover the original 10.
Yeah, sure, why not? Who are the original 10?
I don't
know if I remember that
anymore.
Is Penn State in the original 10? No, they're not.
No.
I'm teasing. It is a little more complicated, but I think a Big Ten show alongside of an IU show where we can give you 30 minutes focusing on IU and then probably a good 45 minutes focusing on the Big Ten, looking at all the games. That might be just a weekly show we do for the Big Ten.
Yeah. Until you get around tournament time, maybe. Then we
and pick it up as the season rolls around and when games get more critical. But I think it's appropriate to do that now, especially since I think Indiana's really going to be a part of the process in the Big Ten this year. I don't think we're going to be looking at the bottom half, and we're going to be looking at. I just don't see a crack in this.
Yeah, Brian has a good comment. You played in the original 10, but he was in a college, so he was probably drinking, so he doesn't remember.
I was not sober for a lot of it, so trust me.
You were in college, but
I'm not even sure where I woke up half the time. So
keep an eye out for the Big Ten basketball show. We will be back to you in the next week or so with the Indiana basketball show. But for now.
Yeah, here's the deal. We may double up on Incarnate and Linwood simply because Mike is going to be down in Panama City playing for a national championship for Indiana.
Indiana.
The national
home
school.
Yeah, the NHFA Division II national championship.
And this will be Mike's third attempt at it of going down.
Not. It's the 7th year in a row, Mike.
All right. See how much attention I pay, Mike, to that.
No, it's just the fact that you drank so much in college, I guess.
No. I don't drink anymore.
I said in college you drank so much, and now you can't remember anything.
I know. That's called old age, buddy.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. For Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak. No, I had my